Welcome everybody to our YouTube channel, Instituto Gaudiya Vaishnava of Education. My name is Mahakrishnanam Das, and we open this video with this question: is the conclusion of the Vedas really found in the Sruti-mantras or the Vedanta-sutras, in the Uttara-mīmānsa portion of the Vedas? What is the conclusion of the Vedas? Where is the conclusion of the Vedas, the ancient books of revelation in the Vedic civilization, in the ancient Hindu civilization? So we have another kind of question to improve this. Where should we look for the ultimate conclusion, the siddhānta of the Vedas? Do the five Vedas have a common theme that integrally links them? If ultimately the purpose is the same, why do the śāstras, the Vedic scriptures, apparently present so many different philosophies, rituals, and processes? So, when an Indologist starts to study the Vedas, the Indologist saw many different proposals in the Vedas. What is the goal in the Vedic scriptures? What is the ultimate conclusion in the Vedic philosophy and theology? So our friend have a point. That's because you follow those old stories, my gorilla friend. We who are truly learned and scholars only follow the Vedas strictly. Oh, very scholar, very learned person. But the gorilla have a revenge. What? I'm going to teach you once and for all what the Vedas are. So we need to start in the beginning. How was made the Vedas, or what is the division of the Vedas? So in the Bhagavata Purana we have a clear about the beginning of the Vedas. If I can say about the beginning of the Vedas, so Sutta Goswami, the son of Ramaharshana, said, "O Brahmana, first the subtle vibration of the transcendental sound appeared from the sky of the heart of the most elevated Lord Brahma, the first creator in the universe, whose mind was perfectly fixed in spiritual realization. One can perceive the subtle vibration when one stops all external hearing. By worship of the subtle form of the Vedas, O Brahmana, mystic sages cleanse their hearts of all contamination caused by impurity of substance, activity, and door, and thus they attain freedom from the repeated birth and death in this material world. All-powerful Brahma made use of this collection of sounds to produce from his four faces the four Vedas, which appear together with the sacred Omkara, the mantra Om, and the seven variety invocations. His intention was to propagate the process of Vedic sacrifice according to the different functions performed by the priests of each of the four Vedas. So this is the beginning of the Vedas. the Vedic scriptures that is the like a bússola to guide the human beings to the process of self-knowledge, self-realization, and this knowledge was put inside of the heart, inside of the consciousness of the Lord Brahma, the primeval creature, primeval demigod in this universe, the first scholar in this universe. And this was put by the Lord Krishna himself according to the Vedic scriptures. The division of the Vedas. Chaturhotram karma shuddham prajanam viksha vaidikam vyadadhat yagya santatyai vedam ekam chaturvidam. He, Vyasadeva, the greater that divided the Vedas, so that the sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas were means by which the people's occupations could be purified. And to simplify the process, he divided the one Veda into 4 in order to expand them among men. So, these Vedas that Lord Brahma received in his heart are now the Shruti, and we have only one Veda, but Vyasadeva divided in 4: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. So this is me, don't worry. In a more detailed division according to their content, each of the 4 Vedas composed of mantra, that is samhitas, the sacred hymns, the hymns to Indra, Surya, Chandra, the hymns to the demigods, Brahmana, that are the guidance for performing sacrificial rituals to these demigods, Aranyaka, that is the jungle books. This is for the beginning of renunciations that live in the forest, the Vanaprasthas, and Upanishads, metaphysics and philosophy. Especially the Aranyakas and the Upanishads are books for the renunciants. Yes, is the Uttarmamasa portion of the Vedas, and these portions, mantra and Brahmana, are portions more in Karma Kanda for householders, for people's involved in the material life. There are 4 Vedas: Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Rig Veda, and Atharva Veda. Originally, there was one Veda, but later on, Vyasadeva divided them into 4. So Yajur Veda is one of the Vedas, and the Isha Upanishad, generally the Upanishads, is stated there. All the Upanishads are stated in the different kinds of Vedas. Therefore, Upanishad is accepted as Vedic study. Many Indologists, academics, and Advaitavadis, the followers of Shankaracharya, only accept the original Shrutis as Vedas, discarding and rejecting the rest. Yeah, our friend. Yes, very well. Our friend is a Sannyas Mayavadi, a Sannyas Advaitavadi. But Veda means Shruti and Smriti. Yeah, you cannot separate the histories of the Vedas from the old Vedas. Shruti and Smritis are Vedas. I will explain now. According to Vedanta philosophers, the followers of Shankaracharya, we have the division of Sruti-prasana which was heard first time for Lord Brahma from Vishnu, from Krishna, that is an original divine revelation. We have the Smriti Prasthana, that which is remembered, that are the histories in this universe, Idihasas, the Puranas, Mahabharata, that contain the Bhagavad Gita, and Ramayana, the history of the Lord Rama in Satya Yuga. And the Nyaya Prasana are inside of the Shruti Prasana. But the Shruti Prasana, the main portion are the in Vedics, the Samhitas, and Nyaya Prasana is the Upanishads and Vedanta-sutra. Logical reasoning in the philosophical inquiry, they selected the principal Upanishads and established the Vedanta-sutra, the summary of all the Upanishads, as the ultimate authority on Vedic knowledge. So, both Shruti and Smriti are compiled by the same sage, that is Vyasadeva, and the Nyaya Prasana is Shruti Prasana also. So, Shruti and Smriti, all these are Vedas, cannot be separated. Smriti is Vedas, yes. So Madhvacharya, regarding his commentary on the Vedanta-sutra, quotes the Bhagavata Purana as follows: the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda, Mahabharata, the Pancharatra, and the original Ramayana are all considered Vedic literature. The Vaishnava supplements the Puranas are also Vedic literature. The Chandogya Upanishad, one Shruti, mentions the Puranas and Itihasas in general as the 50 Veda, and the Bhagavata Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, states the four divisions of the original sources of knowledge, the Sruti-mantras, Shrutis, were made separately, but the historical facts and authentic stories mentioned in the Puranas are called the 50 Veda, cannot be separated. Vedic literature presents itself as a single, comprehensive whole, intended for transcendental understanding. By rejecting most of it, the Vedic texts will appear incomplete, incoherent, and inconclusive. Yeah, the sannyas Mayavadis are shocked. So this is a panorama, this is an overview of the Vedic knowledge, Shruti and Smriti. Okay, I will not explain about this, but you can stop your video and study with more attention. While some pseudo-transcendentalists, Indologists, and academics point to the Vedanta-sutras as the conclusion of the Vedas from a distant place or seated at their office desks, those who are truly in harmony with such scriptures and the Vedas themselves point to the evident conclusions of the Vedas elsewhere. So, the academicists and the Indologists, and especially the follower of Shankaracharya, before that influenced these academicists, concluding that the Vedanta-sutra is the most elevated book of the Vedas, and is the final guide of the Vedas. But this is not according of the many acharyas, spiritual masters, previous, and especially not this is not in according with the own Vedas. In many portions of the Vedas explain that Vedas is a whole complete. This means Shruti and Smriti. If you take out the Smritis, the Vedic knowledge don't have a sense. This is a quote from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Bengala in your talking with Prakashananda Saraswati. These are in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. The essence of all Vedic literature and all its histories has been collected in Srimad Bhagavatam in Bhagavata Purana. So different sages trying understand the ultimate goal in the Vedas, like this man's this blind man's trying understand what is elephant touch in different portions of the elephant body. Three aspects of the absolute: Vedanta Vedas, Tattvam Jnanam Madhvayam, Prameti Paramatmeti Bhagavan Ichabhyate. So this Jnanam Advayam is called Brahman. And this Brahman divided in three aspects: Brahmajyoti, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. All this is the absolute truth. The refulgence, the aspect localized, and the aspect personal, like in the Christianism. All this is the absolute truth. The same absolute truth divided in three parts, three portions. But what is the most prominent portion of the Brahman, of the absolute truth? In Bhagavata Purana, so was called Tat Shradadhana Munayo Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya Pashanti Atmani Chatmanam Bhaktya Shruta Grihitaya. The seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, probably not academicists, realizes the absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta-sutra or Guru. So, the Vedanta-sutra is the ultimate conclusion of the Vedas, but we cannot understand the Vedanta-sutra without these śāstras, because in the Vedanta-sutra, the Upanishads and Vedanta-sutra, we have this absolute truth, this Brahman, described in the implicit form. But in the Smritis, especially in Bhagavad Gita and Puranas, we have this Brahman, this absolute truth, described in the very explicit form. According Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a magister and great sage from the 19th century, the marvelous conclusion of all these śāstras is present in the Bhagavad Gita. Research into the Bhagavad Gita reveals the following formula: If karma, fruitive work, does not aim at the attainment of jnana, knowledge, karma is rendered impotent and thus useless. Similarly, if both karma and jnana do not culminate in bhakti yoga, devotional service, they must also be discarded on the grounds of having become atheistic, heretical practice. Thus, the Vaishnava Siddhanta, Vedic philosophical conclusion, is that Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga constitute ultimately the same path of yoga, process of spiritual elevation. For the conditioned soul, the initial step towards self-realization begins with to take up karma. Later, he is promoted to Karma Yoga, then to Jnana Yoga, like a ladder described in Bhagavad Gita, and finally, the last step of this ladder is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate yoga, is the whole yoga and the ultimate yoga in the Vedas, described in the Vedas. These are in Jivadharma, the masterpiece of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in chapter 3. Krishna as the maintainer. This in Bhagavad Gita, that is a chapter of the Mahabharata, Itihasa. So, is in this Smriti, in these Itihasas, that we found the Vedic conclusion, the ultimate goal of the Vedas, the real Vedanta. Krishna explained, Sarvasya Chahanvari Sanivishto, Matais Mrita Gyana Pohanancha, Vedais Cha Sarvair Aham Eva Vidyo, Vedanta Kridi Vedavid Evachahan. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be now, because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta. Krishna spent in Vyasadeva, and I am in the hour of the Vedas. Vedanta-sutra and Srimad Bhagavatam Bhagavata Purana has the same beginning and the same author. The author is Srila Dvaipana Krishna Dvaipana Vyasadeva, and the Vedanta-sutra, the second aphorism after Atato Brahma Jigyasa, is Janmadi Asayata. The Brahman, the Absolute Truth, is the original source from which everything emanates. It's a brilliant definition of God or Absolute Truth. And the Bhagavata Purana begins with this aphorism, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That is the theme, the subject of this Purana, because this Purana, Bhagavata Purana, came to explain about Sri Krishna, about Lord Vasudeva, Lord Govinda. And we have these aphorisms that support all the Bhagavata Purana, and in the sequence came Janmadyasu Yasyata Anvayaditas Chartesha Bhigyasarat. Janmadyasu Yata Anvayaditas Chartesha Bhigyasarat. So, look, it's the same line. Janmadyasu Yata is the second verse of the Vedanta-sutra, and Bhagavata Purana begins with the same line, Janmadhyasayata. So here are declared that Vasudeva, Krishna, is the source where everything's come. Janmadhyasayata, everything's fire, earth, everywhere, every words came from this Lord Sri Krishna. So, what was implicit in the Vedanta Sutra? Who is this Brahman? Are explicited in the Bhagavata Purana. Vasudeva Krishna is the Janmadi Asayata Anvayad. O my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, all pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universe. So this is very clear. Yes, the same author, Vyasadeva, show this because the Bhagavata Purana is considered the natural commentary to Vedanta-sutra. In Vedanta-sutra we have only logical statements, but these histories can help for the common peoples understand this difficult interest in the logical and philosophy. So these histories become more easy to understand, to know of this content in the Vedas, in Puranas, in the Bhagavata Purana. What the Vedanta-sutras explain is easily understand in the easily explanation in the Bhagavata Purana. The natural commentary on the Vedanta-sutra. Taiva Bhagavata Sutir Artha Rupa Nija Krita Sutera Nija Bhashya Swarupa. This is from the Garuda Purana, quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 25, verses 142 to 145. Srimad Bhagavatam gives the actual meaning of the Vedanta Sutra. The author of the Vedanta Sutra is Vyasadeva, and he himself has explained those aphorisms in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. The meaning of Vedanta Sutra is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. The full purport of the Mahabharata is also there. The commentary of the Brahma Gayatri is also there and fully expanded with all Vedic knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is the Supreme Purana, and it was compiled by the Supreme Persona of Godhead in his incarnation as Vyasadeva. There are 12 cantos, 335 chapters, and 18,000 verses. Sarva Vedanta Sharam Srimad Bhagavatam Isha Yatedat Rasamrita Tripta Sayana Yatra Syadratin Kvachit. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 25, verse 146. This was talked by Lord Chaitanya. Sarva Vedanta Sharam Srimad Bhagavatam Ishate Tad Rasamrita Triptasyana Yantra Syadirati Kvachit. Srimad Bhagavatam is accepted as the essence of all Vedic literature and Vedanta philosophy. However, this is the transcendental mellow of Srimad Bhagavatam is never attracted to any other literature. Srila Prabhupada, Asi Bhaktivedanta Swami, that brings this knowledge, the real knowledge of the Vedanta as it is from the Western countries, is the end. So, thank you so much for your patience. I'm sorry for my terrible English, and have a nice day. Hare Krishna e tchau!
Compreensão transcendental, prática de sacrifício, gentileza, clemência, caridade, autocontrole.